Since I did my previous video on how to pick up women, I have been completely overwhelmed by requests to do a follow-up. Okay, it was 1 or 2 requests, but that's not the point. If you haven't watched my previous video, I suggest you go watch that first, either by clicking here or on the link down in the description below. So back to the requests. They said they were very happy with the information that I provided, but there were 1 or 2 things that I left out. So let's see if I can rectify that situation. So I talked a lot about taking photos of yourself or getting friends to help you out, and I did discuss what should be actually in the photo, but I never talked about what poses you should adopt. Well, the pose you pick all depends on what type of look you are going for. If you are going for the more coy look, you can bite your bottom lip. That's your bottom lip, not the top one, otherwise you'll look completely ridiculous. For a sultry look, you can do the over-the-shoulder shot. For the innocent look, you can do the finger on the lips. And if you're doing a selfie, you can always go for the ridiculous duck face. I'm sorry, but my sense of self-worth won't allow me to pull those faces. And then there's always the ones where you show off your incredible physique. Okay, you guys asked for it. I didn't want to talk about it, but I'm a people person. Yeah, okay, we're going to talk about dick pics. So firstly, you don't just take a dick pic and just send it off. A lot of thought has to go into these things, and you sort of have to build up a good dick pic gallery. Think of it as a picture for every occasion. My recommendation is that you take the picture from an angle, not from above, because then it might just end up looking like an alien chest burster. Then let's move on to lighting. I would suggest you use a good 3-point lighting system, with your main floodlight over there, your full light there, and a backlight to properly frame yourself. Something like this. Also, make use of good light diffusion and put a soft filter on it if you can. Now, you might think that using a silhouetted picture will work, but the problem with that is you lose all texture and vein detail. Also, I don't think this needs to be said, but gentlemen, trim the hedges. She's not Jane Goodall and we are not on safari. She doesn't want to be looking for gorillas in the bush. And lastly, nobody wants to see a picture of Droopy Dave. She'll want to see a picture of Happy Dave. I just realized my mother-in-law watches my videos. Hi, Mom. So I've told you how to impress a woman when you actually have her attention, but what if you're at a braai or some other social convention and you need to get her attention first? Here's how you do it. If you're across the room from her and she glances in your direction, wiggle your eyebrows. You can come up behind her when she isn't looking and sniff her hair. You'll get a lot of important genetic information from this. When she notices you, ask her if you can have a lock of her hair for your scrapbook. She will think this is romantic. Another way is to wait around a corner for her to walk past. And just before she walks past, you step around the corner so she collides with you. The fact that you don't fall over but she does will tell her that you are a big, strong man who can sire many healthy spawn. An added benefit is that if she is injured, you get to take her to hospital where they will pump her full of mind-altering drugs, during which time you will look like a hero. If you're at a wedding, talk to the ladies that are alone and remind them that they are single and will probably die alone. They will then get depressed and need some comforting. The same thing works at funerals. The benefits of a wingman cannot be overstated, as long as the wingman isn't better looking than you, because that will just defeat the purpose. Remember, something will look a lot better if you put it next to something that's uglier than it than if it's on its own. This is why I make friends with people like Christu, and why I don't stand next to Brad when we're trying to get him laid. So what does a wingman do? Well, while you get your lady a drink, have your wingman tell her what an amazing lover you are, and how you have managed to satisfy thousands of women. You can also elaborate on what a sizable manhood you have, so much so that other men are embarrassed to shower in your presence. Then, when she asks you about it, tell her it's not really that impressive, although you occasionally do walk with a limp. Women also bring wingmen along, or rather wing women, specifically to help them avoid mistakes like, well, you. It is the wing woman's job to cock-block you at every opportunity, so it's important that you take her out of the game quickly. If she is one of those bitchy, hippie, vegan types, you can use your wingman as cannon fodder by getting him really drunk, covering him in salad, and waiting for her to jump in. In simple terms, the lady you are after is a golden snitch. You are the seeker, your wingman is a beater, and the wing woman is a bewitched bludger. If you don't understand those references, you need some fucking culture. My grandmother always said that seduction is a two-part game. First you have to seduce her mind, then you have to seduce her body. I had a fairly traumatizing childhood. Mental seduction can be tricky and you have to be subtle about it. Women like guys with a hint of geek to them. Show her your inner geek by bravely displaying your Star Wars figurines and the trucks you built with your Lego sets. Having an arsenal of weaponry on display will let her know that you are capable of defending her should the need arise. This will put her ovaries into overdrive. You think I've always had this crap in shot for the shits and giggles? An absolute surefire way is to put your guitars in front of your bookshelf. This will tell her that you are both an artistic and a knowledgeable person. What? What do you mean I'm talking crap? Listen, I'm the one that did these things and you are the one that married me, so who's right and who's wrong here? When it comes to physical seduction, I'm not very good at it. So I asked my wife if I could experiment on her on camera and she said no. So I had to make other plans to find out the type of thing that women like, and I did manage to find a lady who was willing to help me with some of these things. To be honest, she wasn't exactly my first choice, and there is a very limited number of things I am willing to attempt here, but for science reasons, I will persevere. Anyway, so let's get her on camera now. Come on, don't be shy. I'm gonna have to adjust the camera angle. Everyone, this is Abby. Abby, meet my viewers. The first thing I found is that women like it when you talk to them in a silly voice. Yes, you do, don't you? Yeah, you do. Yes, you do. Ow. Feeding her some treats at this point will go a long way to building a trust relationship, but you will have to work for them. Check. Good girl. Underbutt. Good girl. Abby, down. Yeah, good girl. They also love to be scratched around the ears and the neck, and this is a good time to compliment her on her facial hair. Yeah, look at the whiskers. Look at the whiskers. Yeah, look at the whiskers. Yeah, look at the whiskers. At some point you'll roll over on her back, and this is when you can give it belly a good scratch while making comforting noises. No, you like that, don't you, you big fat furry fucker? And that is about the limit of what I'm willing to experiment with on that topic. Even I have my standards. So that's it for me, guys. If you enjoyed this video, show that like button some love, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already done so. You can also follow me on all my social media crap, links in the description below. Have a good one. Cheers. I spent way too much time in the dating scene, and I used to have, let's say, a lot of trouble getting women to notice me. But then I discovered a few tricks. Let's say you're at a bar and you ask your host or hostess for a knife because you need to cut the meat. They will bring you the knife, and when they hand it to you, they will tell you with a straight face, be careful. It's very, very sharp.